My name is Grace. This is my story. It is a story about a broken heart, but it is also a story about a stronger soul. My life was simple once. I thought it was perfect. I lived in a small apartment. It had big windows. The sun always came in. I liked that. I had a job I enjoyed. I worked in a little flower shop. I loved flowers, their colors, their smell. They made people happy, and that made me happy. I had Mark. Mark was my world. We met on a sunny spring day. He had a kind smile. His eyes were warm. I felt safe with him. I felt happy. We were together for 3 years. 3 happy years. Or so I thought. We talked about the future, a house, a garden, maybe children one day. Our dreams were woven together, like a beautiful tapestry. I loved him very much. I trusted him with all my heart. My heart was open to him, completely. Then everything changed. One Tuesday, my world ended. I remember that Tuesday. The sky was gray. It felt heavy, just like my heart would soon feel. Mark was late coming home from work. This was not usual. He always called if he was late. I called his phone. No answer. I called again. Still no answer. A small worry started in my stomach. Just a tiny seed of worry. I made dinner, his favorite. I waited. The food got cold. The room got dark. He came home very late. He looked tired. He looked different. He did not meet my eyes. Mark? Is everything okay? I asked. My voice was small. He sat down on the sofa. He put his head in his hands, and then he told me. He told me about her, Lisa. Lisa worked in his office. He said he did not mean for it to happen. He said he was sorry. Sorry. Such a small word for such a big pain. He said he was leaving. He was leaving me. For her. The words hit me like stones, hard and cold. My world did not just end. It shattered into a million tiny pieces. Right there in our living room. The room where we laughed. The room where we dreamed. I could not breathe. I could not speak. I just stared at him. This man I loved. He was a stranger now. He packed a bag. He did not say much more. He walked to the door. He looked back once. His face was a blur. My eyes were full of tears. Then he was gone. The door closed. Click. The sound was so final, so loud in the silence. My world was empty. The first few days were a fog, a thick, gray fog of pain. I did not eat. I did not sleep. I just cried. The flowers in the shop seemed too bright, too happy. How could they be happy when my heart was so broken? My friends called. My mother called. I did not want to talk to anyone. What could I say? My beautiful tapestry was torn. My dreams were ashes. I felt so alone, so lost. He left with her. He chose her, not me. Why? What was wrong with me? I asked myself this question again and again. My mind was a storm of sad thoughts. It was a very dark time. I remember one afternoon, I was sitting on the floor. The apartment felt so big, so empty without him. Sunlight came through the window. The same sunlight I used to love. But now, it felt harsh. It showed all the dust. It showed all the emptiness. I looked at my reflection in the dark TV screen. I saw a ghost, a pale face, red eyes, messy hair. Who was this person? This was not Grace. This was not me. My heart ached, a deep physical ache. It felt like it was truly broken. I thought, this pain will never end. I will always feel like this. It's okay to feel that way, you know. When you are hurting so much, it's hard to see any light. It's hard to believe things can get better. I stayed in that fog for weeks. Weeks of tears. Weeks of sadness. My job at the flower shop suffered. My boss, Mrs. Davis, was kind. She understood. She gave me some time off. "Take care of yourself, Grace," she said. Her eyes were gentle. But how? How could I take care of myself when I felt so broken? Then, one morning, something small happened. I was lying in bed. The sun was trying to peek through my closed curtains. A little bird started singing outside my window. A cheerful little song. It sang and sang, as if it had no worries in the world. I listened. For the first time in weeks, I really listened to something other than my own sad thoughts. The song was simple, but it was beautiful. It was full of life, and a tiny thought came into my head. A very quiet thought. The world is still going on, I thought. The birds are still singing. My life felt like it had stopped, but the world had not stopped. That thought was like a tiny seed, a seed of something new. It did not make the pain go away. No. The pain was still there, big and heavy. But the seed was there too. Something inside me woke up. A tiny spark. It was not much, but it was something. I got out of bed, slowly. My legs felt weak. I opened the curtains. The sunlight filled the room. It was still harsh, but today it also felt a little bit like hope. Just a tiny bit. I looked at myself in the mirror. Really, looked. The ghost was still there. But her eyes had a tiny spark in them. "Okay, Grace," I whispered to my reflection. "Okay, let's try." It felt scary. Trying felt scary. What if I failed? What if I fell back into the fog? But the bird kept singing, and the spark kept flickering. My first step was very small. Very, very small. I took a shower. I washed my hair. I put on clean clothes. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But for me then, it was a big victory. I made myself a cup of tea. I sat by the window. The tea was warm. It felt good in my hands. One step at a time, I told myself. Just one small step. You can do this too. When things are hard, just focus on the next small step. That's all you need to do. The next day, I took another small step. I went for a walk. The air was fresh. It felt good on my skin. I walked in the park. I saw children playing. I saw dogs chasing balls. I saw old couples holding hands. Life was all around me. A part of me still felt sad. Seeing happy people sometimes made the pain sharper. But another part felt a little bit stronger. I was walking. I was outside. I was not hiding in my dark apartment. That was progress. Slowly, very slowly, I started to rebuild. It was like building a house with broken stones. It was hard work. Some days were good. I would feel a little bit of my old self returning. I might even smile a real smile. Some days were bad. The sadness would wash over me like a big wave. I would cry again. And that was okay. Healing is not a straight line. It goes up and down. It's okay to have bad days. It doesn't mean you are failing. It means you are human. I started going back to the flower shop. Being around the flowers helped. Their quiet beauty, their resilience. They bloom, even after a storm. Mrs. Davis was wonderful. She did not ask too many questions. She just gave me tasks, arranging flowers, talking to customers. It was good to be busy. It was good to feel useful. One day, a little girl came into the shop with her mother. She wanted a single red rose. "It's for my teacher," she said, her eyes shining. She is the best teacher in the world. Her happiness was so pure, so simple. I wrapped the rose carefully. I tied a ribbon around it. The little girl smiled at me. "Thank you," she said. And in that moment, I felt a little bit of joy. Real joy. It warmed me from the inside. I started to rediscover things I liked. Things that were just for me, not for us. Just for Grace. I loved reading. I had forgotten how much. I started visiting the library. I lost myself in stories of adventure, of love, of strong women. The books were like friends. They understood. They offered comfort. I also started painting again. I used to paint a little when I was younger. But then life got busy. Mark got busy. I stopped. Now I bought some cheap paints and a canvas. I painted my feelings. Sometimes the canvas was dark and stormy. Sometimes it had a tiny flower of hope in a corner. It didn't matter if the paintings were good. It was for me. It was a way to let the feelings out. I reconnected with my friends. My true friends. They had been there all along, waiting patiently. My friend Sarah was amazing. She would just come over. She would make tea. We would talk. Or sometimes we would just sit in silence. Her presence was enough. She never said, "You should be over him by now." She never rushed me. She just listened. She understood. Friends like that are treasures. Hold them close. One day, Sarah convinced me to try something new. A yoga class. "Yoga?" I said. "I don't know, Sarah. I'm not very flexible." "It's not about being flexible, Grace," she said. "It's about finding your center. It's about breathing. I was nervous, but I went. The yoga studio was calm. Soft music played. The teacher had a gentle voice. "Breathe in, breathe out," she said. We moved through poses. Some were hard. My body felt stiff. My mind was still a bit messy. But I kept breathing. In and out. At the end of the class, we lay on our mats. My body was tired. But my mind felt a little clearer, a little quieter. I liked it. I went back. Week after week, yoga taught me to listen to my body. It taught me to be present in the moment. It taught me that I was stronger than I thought, both in body and in spirit. There were still challenges, of course. One afternoon, I was in the supermarket. I saw him. Mark, he was with her. Lisa, my heart, stopped. Then it started beating very fast. Thump, thump, thump. All the air left my lungs. He saw me. His eyes widened. He looked uncomfortable. Lisa looked at me. Her eyes were curious, maybe a little bit triumphant. I don't know. I wanted to run. I wanted to hide. I wanted to disappear. The old Grace would have run. The old Grace would have cried. But something in me held firm. I took a deep breath. Just like in yoga. I looked at them for a moment. Then I turned my shopping cart and I walked away. Head held high. My hands were shaking. My legs felt like jelly. But I did not run. I did not cry. Not there. When I got to my car, the tears came. Hot and fast. But they were different tears this time. Not just tears of sadness. There were tears of anger, tears of hurt, but also tears of pride. I had faced them, and I had walked away. I had not crumbled. That day, I felt a new kind of strength growing inside me. A quiet, steady strength. Slowly, my broken heart began to mend. The pieces started to fit back together. But they did not fit the same way as before. The new heart was different. It had scars. But scars can be beautiful. They tell a story. They show you have healed. My soul felt different too. It was not the naive, trusting soul it once was. It was wiser. It was deeper. It was stronger. Broken heart. Stronger soul. I started to understand. I learned so much about myself during that time. I learned that I am resilient. I learned that I can survive pain. I learned that I can find happiness again, on my own terms. I learned that my worth does not depend on someone else's love. My worth comes from within me. This was a big lesson, a very important lesson. Maybe you need to hear this too. You are worthy. You are enough. Just as you are. I focused on my job. I put my heart into the flower shop. Mrs. Davis noticed. She gave me more responsibility. She asked for my ideas. I designed new flower arrangements. I helped customers choose the perfect flowers for their special moments. I felt creative. I felt valued. One day, Mrs. Davis told me she was thinking of opening a second shop, and she wanted me to manage it. Manage it. Me, I was shocked, and then I was thrilled. Yes, I said. Yes, I would love to. It was a big step, a scary step. But I was ready. The old Grace would have been too afraid, too unsure of herself. But the new Grace, the stronger Grace, she was ready to try. The betrayal by Mark was the most painful thing I had ever experienced. It broke my heart. It changed my life. But it did not destroy me. Instead, it made me strong. It forced me to look inside myself. It forced me to find my own strength. It was a very hard lesson, a very painful lesson. But I am grateful for it now, in a strange way. Because of that pain, I found a strength I never knew I had. I found grace again, the real grace. My life is different now. It is not the life I dreamed of with Mark. It is my life, a life I built for myself. I manage the new flower shop. It is doing well. I love my work. I have my apartment. It is still sunny. But now it feels full of my books, my paintings, my peace. I have wonderful friends. We laugh a lot. I still do yoga. I still paint. I still read. I am happy. It is a different kind of happiness, a quiet happiness, a strong happiness. It comes from within. Sometimes I think about Mark. I don't feel anger anymore. I don't feel much at all. Just a kind of distant sadness for the girl I used to be. The girl who put all her happiness in one basket. He taught me a hard lesson about trust, about love, about people. But mostly, he taught me about myself. His betrayal was a dark, stormy night. But after the storm, the sun came out. And I was still standing, stronger. So if you are going through a hard time right now, if your heart is broken, if your world feels dark, please know this. You are not alone. It is okay to feel sad. It is okay to cry. It is okay to feel lost for a while. But please also know this. You are stronger than you think. Inside you, there is a spark, a tiny seed of strength. Nurture it. Take one small step, then another. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Healing takes time, but you will heal. And like me, you might find that the experience, as painful as it is, can make you stronger. It can help you find your true self, your stronger soul. You can do this. I know you can. Keep going. Don't give up on yourself. Your story is not over. It is just beginning. And it can be a beautiful one, a strong one, just like mine.